Apple's foldable iPhone rumors intensify as it seems the launch will be sooner than even we thought. iPhone 17 series rumors hint to some added hardware changes that will definitely make an important difference. Samsung's Galaxy S26 is already reporting a couple of interesting strategy changes for good and bad. And yes, for all of us fans of the S Pen on Samsung Galaxy Ultra models, it seems our days are kinda counted. I'm Jaime Rivera, and let's end the week with these 4 interesting topics. This is Tech Briefing powered by MediaTek. Let's begin today with 2 Samsung segments, the first which I'm kind of mixed on, and the second is downright bad. New reports claim that the company's Galaxy S26 series may be the first to use Snapdragon chips, but wait for it, manufactured on Samsung's own 2nm process. The last time Qualcomm used Samsung's Foundry was on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, but this is actually an odd dual-chip approach. Apparently, there will be a future Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy made on Samsung's process, and then another version of the same chip but on TSMC's 3nm process. Obviously, it's been pretty dramatic over at Samsung's chip business, losing customers all over given low yields, so it seems the rumors of the company going back to the drawing board begin next year. Obviously, this helps Qualcomm not have all its eggs in one basket given all the demand TSMC currently deals with, and for Samsung, an in-house chip could help the company do a better job at vertically integrating for performance, thermals, and more. Now, if you're asking why use Qualcomm and not just go Exynos, it's clearly because of that custom Orion chip, which has Snapdragon on a separate league of its own, pretty much now compared to Apple's A&M chips. At this point, we're close enough to the Galaxy S26 that it might just be the case, but I'm curious to know what you think about this in the comments. But alright, let's switch to the more complicated part still on Samsung. It seems the company is preparing to retire its hallmark S Pen from the Samsung Galaxy S Ultra. I know, not the stuff you want to read or hear about right now, but bear with me. Let me go through the news first, as it's not immediate and it might not be a full drop of functionality. According to a new leak from Sensuna Digital, the Galaxy S27 Ultra, slated for early 2027, might ditch the integrated stylus to make room for other internal upgrades like a larger battery or better thermal management. If this pans out, the S27 Ultra could either abandon the S Pen support entirely or require users to store the stylus externally like you did with the Galaxy S21 Ultra. I mean, yes, we already saw the Galaxy S25 Ultra drop some functionality based on user statistics, so it could also be that Samsung has discovered that people barely use it as well. Obviously, with the S25 Edge, we also noticed the company is leaning towards slimmer phones, so that could also be the reason to not have it built in, as a pen also needs to be easy to handle. Now, the other question is if maybe Samsung is considering jumping to an active pen completely, as rumors hint to that being the case for the Galaxy Z Fold 7, and dropping Wacom altogether, which could also help it remove layers from the display to make it even thinner and easier to handle. I guess part of the story will probably be revealed at the next Galaxy Unpacked in a few weeks, so let's see what happens with the S Pen. I'm curious to know if you care about this feature in the comments. Now let's switch to Apple for 2 segments because trust me, it's a lot, so let's start with what's happening first. Let's begin with the iPhone 17 and actually the base model, as new reports claim that Apple is testing 2 new colors, purple and green, with the latter not doing as well. Obviously, this model might not launch until early next year, so there's still time. The color that is coming is the sky blue shade on the Pro models, though we wonder if it's going to be as muted as it is on the MacBook Air. And then another major change across the board is 120Hz refresh rate, finally making it on all iPhone models, with the difference being if it'll be variable or not. We also have case makers like Spigen confirming that both the base and the small Pro will be of 6.3 inches diagonal, the Air at 6.6 inches, and the Pro Max at 6.9. Oddly, some display panel leaks hint to at least an odd change where the selfie module is going to be in a different position on the Air than on the Pro models, which is kind of weird. And as for the design, it seems dummy units are already starting to look better. A recent post from Managing Boot shows the Pro model in its full design glory and now adopting more of the frost and gloss finish that we might end up getting in the final product, along with an interesting shade of black that could remain in the roster for another year. Other rumors hint to Apple finally pushing the telephoto to 48 megapixels and having all 3 sensors at the same resolution, along with some enhanced multicam video capabilities and the sharper 24 megapixel selfie camera. All in all, it seems these new iPhones will be no joke, but I'm curious to know if you like what you hear in the comments. And before we get to the hottest news, let me tell you about today's sponsor, MediaTek. Products like Amazon's Echo Show 10 are powered by the MediaTek 8183 processor, which works in tandem with Amazon's AZ1 neural engine. So yeah, it's capable of giving you one of the best sound experiences on any smart display today. It's capable of following you around for a more useful experience in places like the kitchen. It's capable of Amazon's latest AI experiences thanks to all its processing power. It's one of the main reasons brands like Amazon trust MediaTek to power their most popular services. Thanks to MediaTek for sponsoring this video. And finally, for the hottest news today, let's talk about the foldable iPhone, because don't you just wonder why these new batch of rumors get leaked right now? I know, right? So if you remember, Apple's rumored foldable iPhone is expected to debut in 2026. Thing is, we now get a couple of interesting tidbits on timing and features that pretty much change everything. First, let's begin with cameras. We hear of two 48 megapixel rear cameras, mirroring the main and ultra lenses that we currently get on the 16 Pro models. This aligns with Apple's apparent goal of keeping its premium foldable on par with the flagship Pro models, especially given its rumored greater than $2,000 price tag. The foldable's main lens may support Apple's Fusion system for digital focus, length, versatility, though a telephoto lens is likely not going to happen given the space constraints. Leaks also suggest the phone will have front-facing cameras for both folded and unfolded modes, pretty much following the industry standard. And everything else, titanium chassis, liquid metal hinge mechanism to avoid the crease, high-density batteries, Touch ID instead of Face ID, and a 5.5-inch outer display. One thing that's driven a bit of controversy is the size of the inner display. Meng Chi Kuo said 7.8 inches diagonal. Now we have digital chat station calling out 7.6 inches, though with the same resolution. And then analyst Jeff Pu is already struck by the fact that this device is already in new product introduction phase on Foxconn. And here's where things get interesting. Sources are discovering some sort of production happening in September or October of this year, hinting that this device is actually going to launch far earlier than expected. And right about then, Mark Gurman is now claiming that this phone will launch early next year, not in the fall. Yes, it's completely odd for Apple, but remember those rumors of Apple pushing the base iPhone and the 17e for April? Well, what if we get 3 iPhones in September, the Air and the 2 Pros, and then another 3 in the spring? It kind of sounds logical, but in today's question, let me know. If you knew that there's a foldable iPhone launching earlier next year, would that change your mind about the Galaxy Z Fold 7? Because in my case, it doesn't right now. I mean, one is confirmed, the other is a rumor, so we need more meat for that. But I'm curious to know what you think in the comments. Friends, thank you so much for joining on another episode of Tech Briefing. Currently 3 videos a week, some weeks going on strong. Please like, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments, as you've seen me try to respond to as many as I can. Also, follow me on social media, as there is more interesting stuff behind the scenes going on. Our little company continues to grow, so we really hope you like what you see. I'm Jaime Rivera. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.